If you struggle with shyness or social anxiety, check out our free No BS training course with actual useful advice you can do from home. None of that just get out there nonsense. The link is in the description below. For now, let's get to today's question.
The question, how do I get rid of social anxiety? How do I improve my extremely poor social skills? Answer by Indy. This is based on personal experience, but getting a part-time job in customer service, forcing myself to talk to others, has drastically improved my social anxiety. My social anxiety used to be horrible. I worried too much about what others thought of me, which was the root of my anxiety. Sure, talking to others can be a little overwhelming, but the idea of having to meet new people, freely socialize, do a presentation, etc. terrified me. My heart would pound, I would sweat, stutter, fidget, just at the thought of these. I was constantly critiquing myself, and it basically took over my life, as almost every action I would make was made for the approval of others, even though they actually were never paying attention. Then came a time in my life when I needed to save for car, and the occasional babysitting wasn't cutting it. I applied to dozens of part-time jobs, even though just thinking about having to go to an interview made me want to cry. Eventually I landed my first job at a cupcake shop. And I'm not going to lie, it was horrible at first. I was so terribly awkward trying to make conversation with customers. Any question a customer had for me threw me off, and I would start panicking just trying to think of an answer to a simple question. Eventually, constantly being around new people had made me more comfortable being around strangers and with myself. I realized these strangers were not out to get me just some cupcakes. They weren't constantly judging me like I imagined they were, and that everyone has their own quirks and insecurities. Of course, this didn't happen within the span of a week, but having a job has taught me so much about myself and has drastically improved my social skills. I wouldn't trade it for anything. Answer by Hope Thorin. My Ph.D. psychology professor says that the best way to get over social anxiety is to practice putting yourself out there. Over time, you would gain the confidence to do it more often because you're not shocked from the fears like before. You could see this like getting into a pool step by step, and the cold water not having that shock effect on your body as you become used to the temperature and feel more comfortable. Conditioning of any sort will subdue the power of the intensity that it once had on a person. Practice, 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 and you will gain experience from which you will learn to do things differently, which will change your attitudes. Also, prepare yourself with information that you need before you do something if you can, as it will give you some comfort to lean on and knowing something instead of nothing. Answer by James Titus Baum. I believe that you don't have poor social skills. You suffer from low esteem and lack confidence to speak to anyone without getting anxious and afraid. The best way to improve your social skills is to join a club, social group, or some activity in your local area. It will take time to get to know most of the people in the group. Take your time. There is no rush to know elder names. Don't be quick to judge anyone just because they seem talkative, constantly interrupt someone, or when you speak. You must learn to speak up with clarity and project your voice by looking at the person in the eye. No need to stare at them. This sends a threatening message. You want them to know you are confident and prepared to listen to others in the group. The most important issue to remember is never give up quickly or walk out frightened by their rude remarks or insults. The thing is that there are unruly people in this world who talk quickly and yell to get attention, or tell BS, but really say nothing. They may appear to have good social skills, but once you get to know them, interacting with them, only then you will eventually find they lack certain skills too. Everyone has inner fears that need to be managed and controlled. I suggest you read more books that may help you to improve your vocabulary. Use positive reinforcements on a daily basis before going anywhere. Try to observe people in small groups who know how to speak properly. Observe their body language and gestures too, because this determines how they communicate on an adult level.